Okay, chapter 33, William Shakespeare, A Case Study is the title. The first section is the Elizabethan theater. Okay, and this time, plagues were going around in the area, and a theater would close from time to time by the authorities. Okay, to stop this from happening, the people in the Lord Chamberlain's men were losing money, so these group of actors decided to build its own space called the Globe Theater, which is really famous. The theater is surrounded on three sides like an arena, but with no roof and for natural lighting, which the stage is almost in the center, with only a tired house hidden behind a curtain. Behind the arena stage that allows a quick costume change. For example, of the arena, you can see it on page 1195 to show you an example of it. Okay, and the scene of the fall of Romeo. Since the fall of Rome, no theater plays had played so much in society, and bringing a broad mix of societies from queens, noble to groundlings, people who paid a penny to stand on the ground, surrounded the stage. Traveling players who were hired men and boys spoke their lines to pay acted out in the place at the Globe. These players were usually were always male, with boys that usually played women's roles, but nothing less. Uh, but nonetheless, the costumes were very elaborate because it's a boy, and he put a wig on, and he was little because his voice was high. They don't have that deep voice when they're young. And then we're going to the next section called Language on Stage. This arena theater gave drama the call aside, a speech directly only to the audience that the actors on stage do not hear. You can see this usually in a lot of Shakespeare's plays where they do a monologue on at the beginning. In Romeo it does it, and one of the other plays is shown in the book, and which this way they do it, it creates a background information and connects to the audience. Another dramatic convention that Way made was a soliloquy, a monologue which was delivered by a character standing alone on stage, giving access to the character's inner world. So it's kind of like everybody runs off stage and then the guy says what he's thinking and like plotting or giving his inner thoughts. And then we go into the next section, which is Shakespeare's Confound Divinity. The characterizations of plays were only began after Shakespeare's death, which tend to be divide the playwrights into four categories. Okay, there's stories, which focus on usually a king from the past, a reigning king from the past, or a comedy, which are plays to for entertainment, and are as a convention, as the end usually is in the end of these plays, the two main characters usually are married off. And tragedies, which is the third, is a darker play, which more complex characters and more dire consequences. And the last one's romance, which involves lovers whose potential happiness. is complicated in a way of maybe a misunderstanding. These categories are loose and overlapping and belong than one more than one category. As you can see in the Hamlet, it's a tragedy. There's also comedy slipped in there every once in a while. Okay, and even for the darker Shakespeare's plays have some comedic, com, funny moments called comic relief. And then we go on to the next session, which is Othello. The play is a tragedy that Shakespeare has made, and in this section it tells you how Shakespeare outstrips the understandings of the plays, and how it's very unique. And that is it for this chapter 33 on William Shakespeare, a case study. Hope y'all like it.